Hey guys, a couple of weeks ago, I had made a video showing you a really different kind of Easter egg that was added into Black Ops 4 Zombies. It's something we've never seen before. It's really hard to see and a pretty difficult find if you don't know what you're looking for. If you go to Voyage of Despair and go to the aft decks and then prone with this one open window and throw a Wraith grenade, you can see a QR code at the bottom of this fireplace. Jason has added all kinds of different ciphers over the years with zombies, and this is the first time we've actually seen a QR code. The only way to really see it well is to look at it through a sniper and then go into theater viewing your character looking at it, and then you can put lights all around it and zoom in, and then you can see it really good. I had done a graphics analysis with the PC version of Black Ops 4 and I was able to get the raw file, so we were able to scan it and see what it said. There was no problem scanning it, and it decoded saying there is a rage within you the others do not know. It may be your undoing. People were speculating that maybe this has something to do with Bruno, because after the boss fight and the ending cutscene, you see him in the boat here and it pans over to Bruno and he's got that light coming out of his forehead. And then in the Easter egg for Ancient Evil, there's a scene where Bruno is stabbing Shaw to death, and then he revives him and Shaw now has the light on his forehead as well. So that's kind of the direction that went. I'm not sure how much that actually relates to the decoded cipher. There might be more that we don't understand, and we'll have to wait for future chaos maps to find out, maybe next year. Anyways, back to the QR code cipher on Voyage. So yeah, that was the first time we've seen anything like that before, but it doesn't stop there. Apparently Jason liked the idea of us having to scan stuff, and he put something else in as well. On Voyage, if you go to the first class area and then into the millionaire suites, there's one room with a bed and it's got white walls on it. If you look down towards the bottom next to this zombie spawn, you see a very interesting graphic on the side of this wall. It blends in really well if you're not looking for it, and it might not look like much, but this is 100% a barcode and something that needs to be scanned with probably a machine before we can read it. And you might be thinking, maybe that's not a barcode and maybe it's not a cipher. Well, 100% it is, because this thing does not show up in custom zombies, and it's the same for the QR code. If you go over to the aft decks and look down there, that QR code is not there on custom zombies. As most of you already know, Easter eggs only show up in regular classic mode, so you have to be in regular mode to see this barcode. And right here I'm in custom zombies and there's no barcode on this wall. So we'll go back over to regular classic mode, and there it is. So ever since this barcode was found, there's been a team of us trying to decode this thing. There's a lot of online applications where you can just upload an image file that is a barcode and it will read it. Well, we went through about 15 to 20 of them and no online source can decode this. We've tried everything, bringing it into Photoshop and using contrast to make it more visible, making it brighter, darker, longer, shorter, and nothing's working. So we've all been doing a little bit of digging to try to understand this barcode as much as we can, and we think we might have identified what kind of barcode it is. Here's a shot of the barcode that we've tried to clean up and make it more black and white, so it's a little bit easier to see, but it's still kind of tricky. And then here's a blown up portion of the left side of that barcode, and you can see how those lines are not very well defined, and that could be the reason why online software programs that try to decode it can't. So there's all kinds of different barcodes. There's some that have just numbers, and then there's some that have letters, numbers, and punctuation, and clearly those are the ones we want to look at. Obviously this is going to decode into a sentence of some kind, which is probably going to be all letters and then maybe a period at the end. Also, looking at the barcode on the wall, we can see its pattern and maybe match it up with what kind of code it is based on that. So after putting all those clues together and seeing what we're left with, it looks like there could be two possibilities of what kind of code this is. It could either be a barcode 39 or a barcode 128. That might not mean much to you guys, but those two types of codes you can easily turn into hidden messages, and it matches up with what we're looking at. So right here I found a website that allows me to create a barcode 39 with whatever sentence I want. So I put there's a hidden message in this barcode, hit generate, and you can see right there it's an extremely long code. This site allowed me to generate a code 39 and a code 128, and I'll show you guys how they compare. So the one on the top is a code 39, the one on the middle is a 128, and the one at the bottom is the one from Voyage and the one we're trying to solve. So you can see right here that a 10-word sentence generates a pretty long code. So the one on Voyage is probably around that or maybe a little bit more. It does look like it has more lines in it. So the difficulty with solving this one is the clarity of the image. Unless somebody owns a scanner or works at Walmart that can help us out, we are going to be struggling with this one. So that's why I think this one could be impossible, just because it's not the best image and it's kind of hard to see in game as well. The clarity is just not there, and it's a possibility that we may have to manually decode this. If that's the case, then there are alphabets that you can use to manually decode this stuff, but I think that is even going to be tough. For instance, here's the alphabet for code 128 with uppercase letters. They have a lowercase as well, but you can see how you might be able to make out separate letters and match them up here. My only concern is that most barcodes are just black and white, but this one has shades of gray and different variants of that color, so it's hard to tell what is going on. The code 128 does have a little bit of gray in between some of their lines, but the one on Voyage has a ton of it. But when I look at a code 39 alphabet, this looks a little bit closer. You can see a ton of different gray shading, and it matches up a lot better with the one on Voyage. I think the way that this barcode in Voyage is the best viewed is through theater mode. If you try to take a screenshot or extract the file, it doesn't look as good. I think the best clarity is when you're in the game. So after reviewing all this stuff and doing a lot of digging, it looks like you might need a sniper and go in and look at it and then try to use one of these alphabets to see if anything can match up. But again, I think it's going to be really tough, and I think this one may never get solved, and that's why I think it might be impossible. But let me know what you guys think, and we'll see you next video.
Thank you for watching Glitching Queen's video. Hoorah!